Alright, welcome back. Class is back in session at the Scholomance Academy. This time, in our textbooks, we will be talking about the priest and teaching our students how to become a priest. So you start off with your Kobold Acolyte, a 4-cost 2/6 priest minion with taunt and spell burst. Gain control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. So this card really isn't that bad, because there is the what's it called? The okay, it was a very similar ability, but it was also more expensive and a bigger statted card. But anyway, since it has taunt, a 2/6 is probably a lot better than like 3/4 or something like that. Like a 2/6 is pretty good for 4, especially when it has taunt, because taunt's going to keep you safe. Spell burst is, I'm sure, very easy to do with priest. This card, okay, where am I going to put this? That's the real question. What kind of deck could it go in? That's also, I'm sure, a big question that everyone always wants to know with Hearthstone card reviews, is what kind of deck do you expect this to go in? I'd expect it to go into probably like a control type deck, most likely. Control is probably the biggest thing that this would fit into, because it's got that taunt. Spell burst also gives you more value, more control over the board. It's not bad though. I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. And probably you're gonna see it in a control deck. That's probably about it. Frazzled Freshman. 1 cost, 1/4 for priest. Absolutely amazing card for priest, because as we know with Northshire Cleric, which is a 1 cost 1/3, whenever you heal a minion, you draw a card. That priests really like high health, low attack stuff early, especially. Like with this, for example, it is one of the best 1 costs for sure then for priest. Like a 2/2 or a 1/4. As a priest, you're gonna want the 1/4, guaranteed, because you can attack, heal, attack, heal. You just killed the 2/2, and you didn't lose your Frazzled Freshman. Yes, you're putting a lot of mana into it, but I have seen priests do it many a times with Northshire Cleric, where you attack and kill something and then heal it right away. So then your opponent has a difficult time of clearing it once again when they thought they could have had you, because, hey, I have 3 attack on the board. You're right, but it's in 2 different minions, so I can kill one of them and heal him, and now you can't kill my Northshire Cleric anymore. So, I think a very good card for priest, especially. I'm once again going to give this one like a 7. What kind of deck do you expect this to go in? Probably, I would think most priest decks would probably put this in, just because it's a really good 1 cost for them. So, 7 out of 10. Draconic Studies. 1 cost priest spell. Discover a dragon. Your next dragon costs 1 less. Pretty simple. I'd say it's fine. Most likely won't be seen in this meta, I don't think. Dragon isn't really a thing for priest as far as I'm aware. It hasn't been for a while. It was for a little bit. Way back. With like, I think like Grand Tournament and stuff like that. But right now, I don't think it's relevant, which makes Draconic Studies not great right now. But as an overall card, which is how I generally do it, not on the current meta, just as an overall card, I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. It's above average, and it's fine. What kind of deck do you expect this to be in? Really just a dragon deck, if it becomes a thing. That's about it. Power Word Feast. 2-cost priest spell. Give a minion +2/+2. Restore to full health at the end of this turn. I think that is very good for priest. Because the 2/+2/+2 for 2 is pretty normal for a spell. And now you also get that heal at the end of the turn. So you can buff your minion to, let's say, a 4/4, kill a 3/4, and now your guy's getting healed back to 4 health again. Which is just amazing value. So for this card, I will give it a 7. 7 out of 10. A lot of good priest cards I'm seeing. Might not be relevant to this meta, but they're all pretty darn good. Relatively evenly balanced. What kind of deck do you expect this to be in? Control. Most likely just control. Maybe a wall quest priest type thing again. Oh no. Because those quests rotated out. No, they didn't. Saviors of Voldoom. Yeah, because they came at Saviors of Voldoom. No, you could maybe put this in a quest wall priest. Very unpopular. Probably like last time I saw it, it was like a tier 3 deck. Probably still would be, but you could put this in. You could do that, especially with the Moshog Enforcer, where you buff it a little bit more, and it was already injured a bit, and now you're getting that heal back up to. It would be like 14 now. The health would go back to, which is ridiculous, and I like it. Initiation. 6-cost priest spell. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If that kills it, summon a new copy. Which that copy is always your copy. Whether you kill your opponent's minion, you get a copy. Or you kill your own minion, you get a copy still. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. I'm really not. I think it's overpriced for what it does. Because if you go back to Holy Water, which costs 1 less, doesn't give you a copy, it puts the copy in your hand, which sucks. Even Holy Water was bad, and even though this is a better version of it, technically, because you don't have to pay the mana to play it, you just get the copy on the field. Costs 1 more. I don't know. I don't really like it. Like, you're getting a copy of, most likely, you're going to kill something that's your opponent's. So getting a copy of something from your opponent is probably not really something you were planning on doing, because you have your cards in your deck for a specific reason. You made your deck the way it is because it works well together. I just don't. I never understood this card. I never understood this, and I never understood Holy Water. What is the point? A lot of stuff with Priest, too, is like copying cards from your opponent's deck, which is, it's fun, but it's not, like, useful most of the time. Like, it's fun. It's like, ooh, the Priest knows your thoughts. He can get copies of cards from you. And it's like, that's cool, but how does it help exactly? So it's just, I never understood it too much. I don't get it. But anyway, I digress. It's not great. I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 10 on this. I'm most likely not going to use it, except in a gimmick deck probably. So 3 out of 10. What kind of deck would you expect this to be in? Really, most likely only a control deck again. Control Priest would really be the only thing I would probably use this. Or maybe like a Death Rattle Priest. Mind Reader Lucia. 2-cost 1/3 legendary priest. Swap hands and decks with your opponent until your next turn. The swapping decks is always kind of weird with that, because it's like, most likely you're not even going to get anything out of your opponent's deck unless you're drawing stuff. which it's hard to draw stuff if your opponent doesn't have stuff in their hand to draw stuff. But anyway, it's really just a really nice informational card. Your opponent also gets that same information, though, too. So it's a same effect card for 2. I never really understood what the point of this card was. I think they ended up nerfing it, but I'm not sure. I'm honestly not 100% sure if they did or not. Which I don't get why they would. I don't get... Like, the information is super nice. But the stats aren't a big deal. It's like, most likely what you're going to try to do is, let's say, when you're at full mana, you play this right away, and then play as much of your opponent's stuff as possible. So then they don't have much. But they're going to try to do the exact same thing, because they still get your entire hand for next turn. Plus they get 10 mana to use whatever they want with your stuff instead of 8, like you did, because you spent 2. To get the cards in the first place. So I never really understood what the big deal of this card was. Really nice informational card, but that's about it. Which information is super useful for a lot of things. For knowing what your opponent might be doing, so then you actually know what's in their hand and stuff like that. But on the field, it's very underwhelming. Kind of useful. I don't know. I'm gonna put it at a 5 out of 10. Most likely gonna be seen in a control deck, for sure. That's the deck that I would expect it in. So that is it for the priest session. So next time, I will be talking about the mage cards. I'll see you then.